What's up, YouTube? I got a couple orders I got to tie up. And what I usually do is I usually try to tie like 3, 4 one night, 3 or 4 next night, until I get the order done. This order is going to John Payne in Fountain, Colorado. But I think he comes down here to fish. And something else I want to mention too. Sometimes on YouTube I'll get a message from somebody, and I've got no way to respond to them. I don't know why. There's no way for me to comment back on them. So if you comment on one of my YouTube videos and I don't message you back, it's not that I didn't read it or I'm being rude. I don't know if you have to subscribe to my channel to be able to send me a message that I can respond to. I couldn't figure it out. I don't know why. But what I was getting at was Kevin Barker wanted to know where I got my jig heads. And I've mentioned on here quite a few times I get my jig heads from Patriot Baits right here in Bolivar, Missouri. All my jig heads come from him. It's a great price, good quality jig heads. The paint's good on them. That's Patriot Baits in Bolivar, Missouri. They got a Facebook page. They got an Instagram page. Look them up. If you're wanting something poured, these guys can do it. I mean, just about anything you can think of. I had them tie me up some walleye jig heads. So Kevin, if you're watching this, I wasn't not purposely responding. I just had no way of, I had no option on that video to respond to your comment, but I did to other people, and I don't know why I couldn't respond to yours. But that's where I get all my jig heads from. And you know, remember too, if you're getting them from Patriot Baits, you're hitting them in their peak season. You know, it might take a little while to get them, but it's usually not that bad. You know, they do a good job, but they're busy. But at first, when I first started tying jigs, I was buying jigs from Bass Pro, Walmart, places like that. And I was getting them with, let me show you. You get them from Walmart, and you end up with this right here, the bait keeper. I don't want to have that bait keeper on my jig head because I want to tie my body all the way up, and I don't want to have to try to compensate for getting over top that hump. So I would take a pair of side cutters, cut all that off, and that's what I would end up with. Plus, you're pretty limited on what kind of hooks you can get, and you can see that's a big shank hook. So I'm gonna, when I use that jig head, it's gonna take so much material to tie that up. So like I said, if you can find somebody local doing it, do it. Get them from them guys, help them out. And when I would cut the collars off those ones from Walmart and Bass Pro, the paint would bust on them. You can see it starting to do it right here at the base, but sometimes they'd crack all the way back up here to the eye. They're mass produced. You can't really complain about them. They get the job done. They're good jig heads. They just ain't the most effective to use for tying them. But I tied a lot of them like that. But the price was quite a bit when, you took it in consideration how many you were getting. You get like 10 in a pack for, like $2, $2.96, something like that. But, if you don't get them from Patriot Baits, find somebody local to get them from. Guarantee somebody close to you is probably tying or pouring their own jig heads. You just got to find them. Get on some of those websites on Facebook. You'll see them post things like that. Just kind of keep in mind where they're at. But I would much rather get my jig heads from somebody right here in Bolivar than mass-produced ones from China. I pulled that jig almost completely out of the vise. I kind of got my vise a little bit out of whack. That's a big old clot right there too, didn't I? Trim it down, give it a little bit of a haircut. He was wanting some shad colored jig heads, so that's kind of what we're shooting for tonight. And something else I started doing is I started using this to put the glue on the neck, because it don't take much, and that brush on the Sally Henson is really thick, and it's hard to get that glue exactly where I want it at. So we fished the tournament Saturday. First tournament Zach ever got to fish. We come in 7th out of 17 boats. He was pretty excited about it. He had a good time. But have you ever fished a tournament and get home and realize you totally trashed your boat? Because the old champ right there, she's going to be due for a good cleaning and straightening all my junk back out. I got stuff scattered all over the place. I got rods still tangled up. We worked on fish pretty hard Saturday. We never really got into any really big ones. The biggest one was like almost a pound. You know, I've had a lot of 1.5 pound fish, 2 pounds, a couple pushing 3 pounds out of Pomme this year. But man, Saturday I could not get on one. The wind was blowing, tons of boats on the lake. It was pretty rough. But he had a good time. We, kind of pushed first place. We weighed in first, so that makes it even worse. So he's watching every single buddy come up. He's like, we're still first, we're still first. Still got big fish, and it gets closer to the end. He's like, well, we got second, but we got third. We're still in fourth. We still might get money, and then we got knocked out of it. But it's a small tournament. It's once a month, so we'll probably do it again. But we got into fish. We had our 7 fish to weigh in by. The tournament started at 7, and I would guess at 8 o'clock, 8:15, we already had, our 7 fish, so we were pretty much culling fish all day. We were spider rigging them out the coves. Which anybody out there spider rigs, and if it's windy, man, it turns into a mess pretty quick. We're fishing 2 12-foot rods and 2 10-foot rods off the front of the boat, and then he's using 4 10-foot rods through the middle of the boat. And I will tell you this, it only takes 1.5 pound white bass to screw that up. If you're going to spider rig, it takes a little bit of patience. You're going to lose some jig heads. You're going to lose, sometimes you're just going to lose your whole entire setup. But it was a good time. We also fished Truman. I was on vacation last week. We fished Truman too. Put out 20-some jugs. A couple rod and reels out. Chased some jugs down all night, but we never got into anything any big there either. Like the biggest blue we had was 4.5 pounds, but we had 1 catfish of every species in the live well once. Had a couple channel cats, a couple blues, a couple flatheads. But we had a pretty good time that night. So let's glue this one down. Yeah, I kind of like the way that puts the glue in that neck a lot better. It's pretty nice. Let's actually, I think that's all I'm gonna do for tonight. I think I'm gonna do one more maybe, call it night, go to bed, get up in the morning, type a few more, get off work tomorrow, type a few more. Any questions, comments, want to know how I do something, where I get my material, just shoot me a message. I'll try to get back to you, but like I said, I don't know why, but some messages I can't respond to. So, you know, you might have to like my channel, subscribe to my channel to actually, for me to respond to them. So that's all I got for tonight. Like, share, subscribe, send me a message, comments, whatever you need to know. Have a good one, guys.